Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Social Marketing with Eric. I'm your host, Eric. Thanks for following along each week as we discuss different social media strategies and how to implement these ideas into your business and help you get more traction through your marketing. So today we're talking about how to promote your blog post on social media. Most people have a separate blog page, whether it's part of your website or a different platform for hosting your blogs or even vlogs with a V. This allows you basically just to kind of own the traffic that happens here. That's one of my suggestions, is actually creating a section on your website to hold your blog and then just drive traffic to it, being able to retarget later. So, of course, we're going to start out with social platform number one, Facebook. It's got the largest following of any of the platforms we're going to talk about today. Facebook is great because you can actually drive traffic to a blog page specifically with the ad platform that they have set up. So, number one, create your ad. Pick out who your audience should be. So if you're talking about something specific, build an audience around that blog post and drive traffic to that. Maybe it's, maybe you're talking about real estate, but you're specifically talking about golfers in relation to real estate. So you want to target golfing, not bicycling or fishing or something else. Target golfers because they're more likely to read it than anybody else. So you hopefully know that by now. But the next comes the keywords and the things that you're going to put in there, the picture that actually shows up in the Facebook post. So maybe you have a picture of a guy golfing, or maybe you have a beautiful golf course, or maybe you have a home on a golf course if that's what you're going for. It doesn't have to be the pictures that you actually use in your blog or a video or a snapshot of the video that you have in your vlog. It can just be a beautiful picture that captures people's attention, and then you have an ideal amount of words that are going to capture the people who are reading it as they're scrolling across on their phone, trying to get them to stop, look at the picture, read your text, and take a call to action that's going to say, click to learn more, or read more about this blog. Ideally, you're going to want to post these up between 1 and 4 p.m. and then between 6 and 10 p.m. because that's when the most engagement happens on Facebook. It's an ideal time to do that. So have a beautiful picture, get it up there. And that's really going to be a common theme among all these, is having a great picture that captures people's attention. But Facebook is the number one place to start, and your impressions to get people to see that are going to be super affordable. I'm talking like 3 to 5 cents per impression to get people to actually come and see your blog and what you've written. But starts with a post. You're going to post on your personal page if you do that, your profile page, or even a page that you manage. So maybe you have a personal brand that you're identifying with, and then you have a business page that you've set up, and then even groups. You can actually advertise and promote within the groups and get attention to your blog that way. So find the groups that are based around your blog content, and that's going to help get more people to your website. Okay, step number 2 is Twitter. 2 for Twitter, right? So what are you going to tweet on Twitter? It's going to be 140 characters or less. Obviously, you got a minimum amount of space to use. You're going to take advantage of hashtags. There's some good examples of that you can find online, is how to incorporate the hashtag actually into writing out your sentence, because you have a limited amount of space to write. Have a short URL on there so you can drive traffic to your blog page again. You don't want to have out that whole long URL because that may take up all of your characters that you're going to use. If you just go to shorten my URL, you can actually search for tools that create a shorter URL. So it's, instead of 50 or 100 characters long, you can short it to something that's like 10 characters long and just take advantage of the real estate space that you have on Twitter. But again, you're going to be having an engaging, beautiful picture, that guy golfing again, to try to capture his attention. You're going to make it interesting. You're going to have a good call to action, like learn more about homes that are available on a golf course near you, or why should I buy a home on a golf course versus on the beach, right? So talk about things that are going to capture that reader's attention. The third platform that you're going to want to consider is LinkedIn. I'm amazed at how many people don't realize what you can do with LinkedIn. It's not just a place to put your resume and hope that you get a job. LinkedIn is another form of content sharing. So if you're writing a lot of blog content, you definitely want to share these articles on your personal page and then on a page that you manage. So if you have a business profile on there like we do, you're going to want to put your content out there so that people engage with you, see you. Every time you post something, your whole audience gets notified that something's new about it. So it's a great way to reach those members that are on LinkedIn following you along. It separates you as an expert in your field. People oftentimes just double check what you're saying on LinkedIn to validate who you are, because LinkedIn does such a great job of really narrowing your field and showing who you are to the people that follow you. So put your content on LinkedIn. You have a few more characters on there. I don't know the specific amount right now in front of me, but you have an ideal opportunity to capture people's attention with a post on there, with another beautiful picture. LinkedIn is just a great evergreen type of place where people can search for good content. So definitely take advantage of your LinkedIn audience. Another great thing that LinkedIn is powerful for is how-tos. Kind of a how-to guide, or how do I do this, or how do I do that. Just think of how-tos and kind of more bullet point lists of trying to accomplish the things that you want to do. So how do I buy a home on a golf course, right? Or how do I get a beautiful home in this neighborhood when there's no homes for sale? So consider your how-to guides, if you would, and put those on LinkedIn. The next step is Pinterest. Pinterest is all about that beautiful picture. It's capturing people with the image. You don't really have any text to capture people reading. You're just scrolling through pictures trying to get something interesting. So your picture, not to be misleading, but your picture doesn't always have to be about the subject that you're talking about. Again, back to that guy golfing. You want to have a beautiful picture of a golf course, an amazing view, something that's going to capture people who are looking at buying a home on a golf course, who are interested in golfing. Maybe you have something about the place where you meet at the golf course. Can't think what that word is right now, but you're basically trying to engage with people who are interested in golfing, right? So what are they interested in, whether it's the restaurant or the golf shop or just the view that you have in general. There's a lot that goes on a golf course, and people like to be there, and they like to live around them because they're well manicured and beautiful places. So Pinterest, keep your text on there to about 150 to 300 words. Once you click on the image, it brings up another thing. You can have some information there, and be sure to link your URL to your blog on the picture. So if people click the picture and then click the picture again, you actually have the opportunity to bring them right to the blog rather than having it in the description of what you're trying to talk about. So make sure you link the picture to your URL of your blog that you're trying to talk about. And then the last one is Instagram. Instagram is another photo-rich place. You're going to want to have the best photo you possibly can. Remember to keep it square. Don't change it around too much, but keep it square. Have an interesting picture on there that's going to capture people's attention. On Instagram, you have a lot more characters to work with, but if you keep it to 155 characters, you're actually going to keep all of your message above the see more, click here kind of button. So you're going to get all your information out there. You're going to be able to direct traffic to your blog based on what you say. Again, the main thing here is that every one of these profiles or platforms is going to have a beautiful picture on there, but it's what you say and the message that counts. On Twitter, you have 140 characters. On Instagram, you have more, but you want to use about 155. On Facebook, you get quite a few. I think it's 10,000 that you can work with, but if you can keep it to the part that's shown, that's what's most interesting. You're going to be able to capture the people that are reading and following along that way, and they're going to be able to click and go to the blog post that you actually want to share it with. So the other side of this is when you write evergreen content, meaning stuff that you can maybe share today and is still relevant in 6, 12, 18 months, you got to post that stuff actually quite often. So some stuff you're going to want to post today, and then within 18 minutes, it's gone. Its lifespan's over. Pinterest is a big part of that. Twitter's a big part of that. There's so much content being put out there that once you post it, it's got a short lifespan before it's gone. And then maybe you want to re-engage with somebody later that day. So if you post it at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Monday, maybe you post it again at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock later that day, or even the next day, to get different people who are looking at that platform at different times. The other side of it, like we just talked about, is evergreen content. So maybe you post something a few times that first week and you get a bunch of engagement and it's really interesting. Post it again in 2 or 3 months to capture a whole new crowd, or maybe the same audience who's thinking about something differently. Because again, back to the golf course owner, if you're looking at homes now, or you're not quite ready to buy, maybe in 2 to 3 months you are going to be ready to buy. So keeping that content relevant to them every 2 to 3 months might be very beneficial. That way you also don't have to rewrite the same article or repurpose it in a different way every couple months. So think about writing evergreen content that's engageable over time, and that's going to help your audience and your time and what you're doing more often. So I highly recommend a blog if you're not doing it already. If you're better on video, do a vlog. It's sometimes easier than having to write out everything. You can just be you, get the camera up, hold your cell phone up, just go live, record it, and post it somewhere on your website so that you can start being a content expert and sharing content with the people that follow you and trust you and like you and want to engage with you. So blogs are great, vlogs are great. Definitely encourage video over written if that's the direction that you want to go. Do them both like we do if you have to. But start a blog, keep at it, share engaging content that's interesting with the people that follow you, and you're going to have awesome results. So thanks for following. My name's Eric again with the Orange Stack. I appreciate you following along. Be sure to share this with somebody who has a blog and get their content shared across all the social media platforms. Thanks for following. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.